The Garden of Dreams. In a quiet countryside in the U.S., there lived an elderly couple named Samuel and Eleanor. They had spent over 6 decades together in a charming little cottage surrounded by a sprawling garden. The garden was their pride and joy, filled with vibrant flowers, fruit trees, and a small pond where birds often came to drink. Every night, Samuel and Eleanor had a bedtime tradition. After dinner, they would sit by the fireplace and sip on chamomile tea, reminiscing about their younger days. Then, they would climb into their bed with its soft, hand-stitched quilt and tell each other stories until they drifted off to sleep. One particularly cold winter night, after the snow had blanketed their garden, Eleanor looked at Samuel with a playful twinkle in her eye. "Sam," she said, "tell me that story again, about the time we almost missed our wedding because of the snowstorm." Samuel chuckled, his voice deep and warm. "Ah, that's a classic. Well, it was the biggest snowstorm our town had seen in 50 years. I remember borrowing that old horse-drawn sleigh from Mr. Jenkins. The roads were so buried in snow that we couldn't even see where the road ended and the fields began." Eleanor nodded, smiling. "I was sitting in my mother's living room, thinking you'd given up on me. I was in tears." Samuel reached over and patted her hand. "Never, not in a million years. I kept shouting at that horse, 'Go faster, Daisy.' I was determined to get to that church." "And you made it," Eleanor said softly, her voice tinged with emotion. "Barely, but you made it. When you walked in, covered in snow, I knew there wasn't a force on earth that could keep us apart." They shared a quiet laugh, their hearts warmed by the memory. After finishing their tea, Samuel and Eleanor climbed into bed. Eleanor sighed as she pulled the quilt up to her chin. "Sam," she whispered, "do you ever wonder what it will be like when we're gone? Who will take care of the garden?" Samuel smiled. "I don't worry about that. I like to think that every seed we've planted has a little piece of us in it. The flowers will bloom, the birds will sing, and whoever comes after us will feel our love in every corner of this place." Eleanor nodded, comforted by his words. "You always know what to say, my love." As they lay in bed, the wind howled outside, but the couple felt nothing but warmth. Samuel reached over and held Eleanor's hand, just as he had done every night for the past 60 years. "Good night, Ellie," he said softly. "Good night, Sam," she replied, her voice heavy with sleep. And as the snow fell gently outside, the couple drifted into a deep, peaceful slumber, their dreams filled with the echoes of their shared past, the laughter, the love, and the garden they had built together.